The Lakers just made a massive move as we've received news of the first big decision by new owner Mark Walter, and it's going to have lasting effects on the Lakers for years to come. And this shakeup within the front office shows that nobody is safe, even if you were a vital member of the Laker organization and is related to Jeannie Buss. What's good? I'm Okechi Apakama, and this is Lakers Digest coming at you with another video. Before we get into everything we have here for today's video, I just remind you guys to subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, because if you haven't noticed, this Lakers season has started and is exciting as ever. So if you don't want to miss any of that action, make sure you guys are subscribed to Lakers Digest. But we're gonna hop straight into the contents of this video, guys, because we've got some huge news, and I'm not gonna beat around the bush here, as Joey and Jesse Buss were fired. So we got just huge news earlier from Shams Charania saying that the Lakers had made a shakeup within their front office and Joey and Jesse Buss are out. So this is from Shams Charania here earlier, saying the Lakers are reorganizing their basketball operations department and terminating executives Joey and Jesse Buss from their respective front office positions effective immediately, the brothers told ESPN. And this is a huge move by Mark Walter, as the Lakers recently were just sold in the end of October. Mark Walter officially owned the Los Angeles Lakers, and this is the first real big domino that has been changed, other than the Lakers, upgrading some of their clubhouse. But this is just a major shakeup because Joey and Jesse Buss were vital members to the Lakers scouting department and also in charge of their G League squad and bringing up some guys. And this is the reason why you see guys like Alex Caruso, Austin Reaves, Max Christie all around the league, is because of guys like those two who were in charge of the scouting department and finding these diamonds in the rough. But now they're going to be gone, and they recently released a statement which is really fascinating here. So this is what they said through Shams Charania, saying a statement from Joey and Jesse Buss. We are extremely honored to have been part of the organization for the last 20 seasons. Thank you to Laker Nation for embracing our family every step of the way. We wish things could be different with the way our time ended with the team. At times like this, we wish we could ask our dad what he would think about it all. So that is very fascinating. So you can tell there is a little bit, especially in the end there, that quote, just like what their dad would think about it. So they probably did not agree with the firing of what transpired recently. So something is definitely amiss within that Laker organization. But once there is a new ownership sale, they tend to clean house and bring in a lot of their own guys. And Mark Walter has a lot of money to spend. If you are a Dodger fan, you're very aware that Mark Walter is willing to spend anything to really improve his team in what shape or fashion. So this is not surprising from a Mark Walter standpoint, but it is surprising from the Los Angeles Lakers standpoint, because out of most of the things with Lakers of the past seasons, the most really consistent thing was their scouting department, because there were guys that Joey and Jesse Buss who found a lot of real solid players in the draft. Just here's a couple of names just on a list here that Joey and Jesse Buss are key scouting roles for the last decade, as they found guys like Austin Reaves, Kyle Kuzma, Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance Jr., Max Christie. So the brothers will still maintain a minority share within the Lakers, which is kind of doesn't really matter as much because they don't really have much of a say at the end of the day, because Mark Walter is going to be the last voice there, and obviously Jeannie Buss is still ahead of them in the pecking order of decision making. But them losing their titles there is gonna do just change things drastically for the Los Angeles Lakers. Obviously, it's gonna be interesting to see what Mark Walters brings in to replace those guys, because they have been tremendous. And this is kind of what goes with the territory of just a new ownership, and gets me to my next topic here, as the changing of the guard can really shift things in one way or fashion. And you can tell that obviously Joey and Jesse Buss did not agree with this sort of like firing, but this is the thing that happens in these situations. And Mark Walter is probably going to want to get some guys that he trusts and he kind of thinks that is suitable for the job. But obviously it is kind of weird because Jeannie Buss is still had enough ownership to really kind of have a say so in this. But the fact that she let her younger brothers or half brothers get fired is just very, very surprising. But It's kind of like a dog eat dog world in this sort of sphere with these people with multi millions and just things of that nature, and so many business ventures that these guys are going to. Because going to talk about more what Joey and Jesse Buss were doing on the side that maybe could have contributed to them being fired, but just this is the thing that happens. And Mark Walter is a smart guy because what he's done with the Dodgers, there is definitely, he has a nice track record in his back pocket there. But just for the Lakers sake and Laker fans, this is just very, very jarring and surprising, because all those names that we listed recently were all major contributors to different teams at different times at different points. And so just losing that key figure in your scouting department is definitely going to shake things up. But like I said, I want to get to that last point here of just kind of like the reason I think why Joey and Jesse Buss were sort of terminated here. And the Buss Bros never wanted to leave, which is very evident in their statement to Shams Charania, saying that, they wondered what their dad would think. And obviously they were not in agreement of possibly selling the team. There was a vote that happened when the Los Angeles Lakers sold the team, and it was up to all the Buss children, all 7 of them, and they all had to vote sort of like in agreement. And obviously majority won out in that way, but once they had the vote was 5-2, and the votes were done anonymously. But a lot of people were wondering and speculating who could have been those 2 votes who voted against possibly selling the Los Angeles Lakers. And it's probably the 2 guys who had the most to do with their success in the past couple of seasons, and that is Joey and Jesse Buss. Those 2 guys were very vital to this team, and they probably did not want to let it go. That's why they voted against the sale of the team. And obviously they lost out because of the majority and just so much money. There was over $10 billion was sold to the Los Angeles Lakers. So that kind of share and that type of money going to those people, that is definitely going to sway folks one way or another. And in the midst of all of this happening, Joey and Jesse Buss, recently, this was a couple of months ago, they ventured out into professional sports as they were building up a business. So Joey, the Lakers' alternate governor and vice president, development, and Jesse, the team's assistant general manager, will launching Buss Sports Capital. This new business is an investment firm aimed at identifying acquisitions partnerships across the globe, a global sports landscape. So this was something that Joey and Jesse Buss were trying to, an endeavor that they were embarking on sort of like their own, trying to build like their own capital, build up their own brand and business, because they've had so much success, growing the Laker G League squad, the South Bay Lakers, and also finding all of those young guys and developing them. But this was also another interesting thing within that. And this is a quote that they said about the new business venture, saying that our vision is really to go after strategic investments and good partners, specifically sports related investments. Joey told ESPN, Buss Sports Capital is not going to compete with our interests in the Lakers or the NBA. This is our first step towards the where the future of sports is going to lead us, and it's exciting to see what growth opportunities exist, particularly opportunities that we can add value given our our skill set. The Buss Sports Capital has partnered with CAA Evolution to lead in the transaction process, and EM Securities will serve as the organization's banking partner, sources said. So that is another interesting tidbit, because they did not expect to be fired as well, because they said their new sports business capital is not going to interfere with the Los Angeles Lakers. So for them to get fired just a couple of months later is very jarring to them and very shocking, as they did not want to obviously let go of their position, even with their other business venture down the line. So there is definitely a lot of weird infighting. Definitely that Thanksgiving table is going to be strange next week for the Buss family, but for the Los Angeles Lakers, this is going to be a new endeavor and an unseen endeavor. Mark Walter, he has that track record of the Dodgers, but he hasn't done it yet with the Los Angeles Lakers. So I'm going to kind of leave it open up to chance of just what he can do with the Los Angeles Lakers in the scouting department and kind of improve improve it on some sort of fashion, because that is obviously the reason why you get rid of Joey and Jesse Buss, because you want to find a way to improve things. Or maybe it is something a little bit more sinister, and maybe there is more infighting in between the families. But I don't want to speculate too much because I don't know enough about that family dynamic there. But definitely some weird times for the Buss family. But for the Los Angeles Lakers, it is going to be strange, because it is a new endeavor and is the first big move that Mark Walter has made. But let us know in the comments down below of what you think of these moves. Do you think Joey and Jesse Buss should have deserved to be fired? Or do you think this is just more kind of like family infighting? Or is this more of Mark Walter trying to find his way to find a better scouting department and really build things up of that nature? Let us know in the comments down below. And there is still 66% of you guys who have recently watched our videos who are not yet subscribed to the channel just yet. And if you guys want more of that Laker news, Laker updates, trade rumors, game recaps, just every and all things LA Lakers, you guys are going to come right here to Lakers Digest. All right, I have been your host, Okechi Apakama, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.